When you hear a show tune from the great white way, does a shiver run through ya? Well, we're giving them to ya. Sing hallelujah and shout hooray. Come on along and listen to Broadway to Main Street. USA.
Along and listen to the lullaby of Broadway, the hip hooray and ballyhoo, the lullaby of Broadway, the rumble of the subway train, the rattle of the taxis, the daffodils who entertain at Angelo's and Maxine's when the Broadway baby says goodnight. It's early in the morning. Manhattan babies don't sleep tight until the dawn. Good night, baby. Good night. Milkman's on his way. Sleep tight, baby. Sleep tight. Let's call it a day. Hey, come on along and listen to the lullaby of Broadway, the hidey-high and poop-a-doo, the lullaby of Broadway. The band begins to go to town and everyone goes crazy. You rock-a-bye your baby round till everything gets hazy. Hush-a-bye, I'll buy you this and that, you'll hear a daddy saying, and baby goes home to her flat to sleep all day. Good night, baby. Good night. Milkman's on his way. Sleep tight, baby. Sleep tight. Let's call it a day. Listen to the lullaby of old Broadway.
One of the strangest and most wonderful tunes of all time for those of us who love Broadway, a lullaby that makes you want to stay up all night. Hello, this is Larry Maslon, your host for Broadway to Main Street here on 88.3 WLIW-FM, Long Island's only signature, one-of-a-kind, individual NPR station, now with a robust signal that emanates all the way up 495 into western Suffolk County. Well, that song was from Gold Diggers of 1935, classic Warner Brothers Busby Berkeley musical, and the music is by Harry Warren and the lyrics by Al Dubin. And Warren and Dubin were rather typical of a Hollywood team of songwriters who did tremendous work on the West Coast. I mean, Warren won 3 Academy Awards for his music and yet tried to follow that siren song to Broadway and failed miserably. So today's episode is Hollywood Goes to Broadway, and we'll look at a bunch of songwriting teams who were phenomenal in the film colony and yet came a cropper, as the British would say, and in Times Square. Warren's one Broadway attempt was about 10 years after Dubin died. He wrote a musical version of James Hilton's Lost Horizon. Yes, that same Lost Horizon. That was a big movie musical bomb in 1973. I guess they didn't learn. But Warren's show was called Shangri-La. It had lyrics by Jerome Lawrence and Robert E. Lee, who had written Auntie Mame. And here's a charming song. I guess it was in the second act, called Second Time in Love, sung by Margaret Whiting in a pop recording, but sung in the show by Harold Lang. So enjoy Harry Warren's One Brief Moment with an original musical on Broadway.
Your second time in love is such a special love. It's better than the foolish kids and schoolish kind of love. You think of all the troubles that you had before, getting mad before, feeling bad before. The second time you know the way to make it go, forget yourself and let yourself be second in the show. The second time you find a face you really can adore, how nice when it's the face, the same old silly face that broke your silly heart before. The second time you know the way to make it go, forget yourself and let yourself be second in the show. The second time you find a face you really can adore, how nice when it's the face, the same old silly face that broke your silly heart before.
Well, among the most popular teams in Hollywood in the 1940s and the war years was composer Julie Stein and lyricist Sammy Cahn. And they also had, magic at their fingertips, so much that for a movie called Romance on the High Seas, they wrote this number for Doris Day, and then they tried their hand after the war in 1947 with a Broadway musical. But first, their Hollywood hit.
You sigh, the song begins. You speak and I hear violins. It's magic. The stars desert the skies and rush to nestle in your eyes. It's magic. Without a golden wand or mystic charms, fantastic things begin when I am in your arms. It's magic. How else can I explain those rainbows when there is no rain? It's magic. Why do I tell myself these things that happen are all really true? When in my heart I know the magic is my love for you. It's magic. it's magic. Why do I tell myself these things that happen are all really true? When in my heart I know the magic is my love for
starting the polka. Come on and dance.
Oh, I got 2 left feet, Mama. You know that.
Now you know you're a good dancer, Papa. Come on.
Well, I haven't danced since our wedding, Sarah.
Not even a polka?
Not me.
Papa, won't you dance with me? Ah, dance with me, please dance with me. Papa, take a chance with me and dance with me tonight. And when you whirl me around and around, we'll go right off the ground. We'll go around and around, we'll go. And when we hear those trombones sliding high, we'll both be gliding high up to the sky. I love the polka, Papa, won't you dance with me? Dance with me, please dance with me. When you hold me tight, oh Papa, won't you dance with me? Tonight, ooh, Papa, won't you dance with me? Dance with me, please dance with me. Papa, take a chance with me and dance with me tonight.
You know that when I try to turn about, my feet are both in doubt. I'd rather sit this out. It's not that I don't like to dance a bit, that's just the heck of it. I love the way they dance the polka.
Papa, won't you dance with me? Ah, dance with me, please dance with me. When you hold me tight, oh Papa, won't you dance with me? Won't you dance with me? Won't you dance with me?
That was Nanette Fabre from the 1947 musical High Button Shoes, written by Julie Stein and Sammy Kahn. Their one almost Broadway hit. I guess it was reasonably successful, but rarely revived. And years later, they tried a musical version of Look to the Lilies, the Sidney Poitier movie. I can't imagine 2 less apposite people to write a musical based on that topic. Well, today we're looking at Hollywood composers who kind of came up snake eyes when they tried their hands on Broadway. Here is one of the most fantastic songs of its era, Swingin' on a Star, music by Chester Babcock, otherwise known as Jimmy Van Heusen, with lyrics by Johnny Burke, an Academy Award winner. And then we'll segue into their attempt at a Broadway hit.
Would you like to swing on a star, carry moonbeams home in a jar, and be better off than you are? Or would you rather be a mule? A mule is an animal with long, funny ears, kicks up at anything he hears.
His back is brawny, but his brain is weak. He's just plain stupid with a stubborn streak.
And by the way, if you hate to go to school, you may grow up to be a mule.
Or would you like to swing on a star, carry moonbeams home in a jar, and be better off than you are?
Or would you rather be a pig?
A pig is an animal with dirt on his face. His shoes are a terrible disgrace. He has no manners when he eats his food. He's fat and lazy and extremely rude.
But if you don't care a feather or a fig, you may grow up to be a pig.
Or would you like to swing on a star, carry moonbeams home in a jar, and be better off than you are?
Or would you rather be a fish?
A fish won't do anything but swim in a brook. He can't write his name or read a book. To fool the people is his only thought, and though he's slippery, he still gets caught.
But then if that sort of life is what you wish, you may grow up to be a fish. New kind of jumped up slippery fish, and all the monkeys are in the zoo.
Every day you meet quite a few.
So you see, it's all up to you. You can be better than you are. You could be swinging on a star.
Funny how love becomes a cold, rainy day. Funny that rainy day is here. Maybe I should have saved those leftover dreams. Funny, but here's that rainy day. Here's that rainy day they told me about, and I laughed at the thought that it might turn out this way. That worn out wish that I threw aside after it brought my lover near. Becomes a cold, rainy day. Funny that rainy day is here.
that was Chris Connor, one of my favorite singers, in a rendition of Here's That Rainy Day, which was a huge Broadway flop for Johnny Burke and Jimmy Van Heusen in a show called Carnival in Flanders, which I think Preston Sturges directed or something, ran about a week or two. It may be one of the most successful songs ever to come out of a flop musical, but the magic did not endure for Van Heusen and Burke on Broadway. Well, one of my favorite teams is Jay Livingston and Ray Evans. I think I was related to one of them. They wrote one of my favorite shows, but they had a tremendous Hollywood career in the 1950s. 3 Academy Award winners, including the song we're about to hear, Button and Bows, from the Paleface, sung by Bob Hope. And what a clever, fun, charming song. They knew how to write for personalities almost better than anyone in Hollywood in their day. Take it away, Bob Hope.
A Western ranch is just a branch of Nowhere Junction to me. Give me the city where living's pretty and the gals wear finery. Oh, east is east and west is west, and the wrong un I have chose. Let's go where you'll keep on wearing those frills and flowers and buttons and bows, rings and things and buttons and bows. Don't bury me in this prairie, take me where the cement grows. Let's move down to some big town where they love a gal by the cut of her clothes, and you'll stand out in buttons and bows. I love you in buckskin or skirts that you've homespun, but I love you longer, stronger, where your friends don't tote a gun. My bones denounce the buckboard bounce, and the cactus hurts my toes. Let's vamoose where gals keep using those silks and satins and linen that shows, and you're all mine in buttons and bows. Don't bury me in this here prairie, take me where the cement grows. Let's move down to that big town where they love a girl by the cut of her clothes, and you'll stand out in buttons and bows.
Those wide open spaces don't suit me like a roof. I will love you longer, stronger, where the stake ain't on the hoof.
Well, that follows. My bones denounce the buckboard bounce, and that cactus hurts my toes. Let's vamoose where gals keep using those silks and satins and linen that shows, and you're all mine in buttons and bows. And another thing, give me Eastern trimming where women are women in high silk hose and peekaboo clothes and French perfume that rocks the room, and buttons and bows, buttons and bows, buttons and bows, buttons and bows.
Am I a dreamer? Yes, I am. All this and more I confess I am. This report is special on how I arranged my echelon of 3 paradises, 1, 2, 3, each a utopia designed by me. Paradise number 1. In Surrey, Mrs. St. James, a woman of rare qualities, a helpmeet to satisfy all the home-loving instincts in me. Industrious and domesticated, happy with the 1,001 activities of the daily round. A woman whose entire existence revolves around the joys of hearth and home. Paradise number one, perfect for the Englishman. Bounded on the north by the cricket club, bounded on the south by the tepid tub, bounded on the east by the Union Jack, and on the west by bric-a-brac, and on the west by bric-a-brac. Paradise number two, this ship, a man's club on the water. Good talk, vintage port, a fine Havana, a man's world, man's an air. Paradise number two, where the men are navy blue. Bounded on the north by Cunard White Star, bounded on the south by a good cigar, bounded on the east by the captain's log, and on the west by gruel and grog, and on the west by gruel and grog. Two worlds, Antony? Not particularly unique, you'd say, but satisfying, yes. Another man might have stopped there, but I dare to ask the question, is this enough? Is this all? Isn't there something more? A third paradise that some may dream of, but few dare to build and inhabit. After all, Manzoni, it is absurd to imagine that the same woman who cooks up the kippers can kick up the capers. And so, paradise number three, Paris, a woman named Bobo, a child of nature, the epitome of the jungle, the mate for the tiger in me, the she-animal whom all men desire. Paradise number three, land of morning lechery, bounded on the north by Toulouse-Lautrec's, bounded on the south by the act of sex, bounded on the east by a left-bank den, and on the west by sex again, and on the west by sex again. Three paradises, 1, 2, 3, each a utopia designed by me. The first my quiet home on land, the second is my ship's command, the third is a world of ecstasy. Three paradises belong to me.
Well, that was Tony Randall singing from Oh Captain, the first shot that Livingston and Evans tried to have at a Broadway hit in 1958. It was not a hit, although it yielded the first cast album I ever heard. And again, they know how to write for characters. And they wrote for another television personality, George Gobel, in 1960 in a musical called Let It Ride, which was based on Three Men on a Horse, a total flop, although George Gobel got a little mileage out of this particular song on various TV appearances. Here is Hey, Jimmy, Joe, John, Jim, Jack from Let It Ride, courtesy of Hollywood successes, Broadway failures, Jay Livingston and Ray Evans.
Quiet, not so much noise. That's what I heard at the age of 10, and I've been too quiet ever since then. Unhappy children of the world, unite and turn the tables. I won't quote what Aesop wrote, but here is some wisdom from Irwin's fables. There once was a tiger, tiny little tiger, playing with his tiger toys. But his nursemaid made him so afraid he didn't dare make a noise. What happened to the tiger, tiny little tiger, who never learned to roar? He's just a mat stretched out flat on somebody's bedroom floor. What I'm saying is, hey, Jimmy, Joe, John, Jim, Jack, even little tigers lose their knack when somebody twice their size can't see the world through children's eyes. There once was a beagle, happy little beagle, following his tail around. But his mother said, go straight to bed and don't make a single sound. What happened to the beagle, happy little beagle, who never learned to bay? Some burglars came, and to his shame he turned tail and ran away. What I'm saying is, hey, Jimmy, Joe, John, Jim, Jack, even little beagles lose their knack when somebody twice their size can't see the world through children's eyes. There once was a bunny, fluffy little bunny, through the piney woods he'd roam. But his father cried, get back inside, a bunny belongs at home. What happened to the bunny, fluffy little bunny, who never learned to hop? Because that bunny couldn't run, he hangs in the butcher's shop. What I'm saying is, hey, Jimmy, Joe, John, Jim, Jack, even little bunnies lose their knack when somebody twice their size can't see the world through children's eyes. Don't do this, don't do that, you might as well just be a statue. That's how children lose their spark. But if grown-ups would take part in things that children have their heart in, we'd never end up hiding in the dark. And what I'm saying is, hey, Jimmy, Jack, John, Jim, Joe, when you have your own kids, let them know, though you may be twice their size, you see the world through children's eyes. You see the world through children's eyes.
This is Larry Maslon, your host for Broadway to Main Street, looking at the great Hollywood songwriters who were not able to transmute their gold back into gold, but turned out to be lead on the Broadway stage, just proving how difficult it was, especially in the post-Rodgers and Hammerstein era, to write a stage musical, which requires a book and a director and live people and capturing popular tastes and you name it. Sort of ran through their fingertips. Here is Chester Babcock again, Jimmy Van Heusen, now teamed up with Sammy Cahn. They wrote so many songs for Sinatra. They are, I think Sammy Cahn won 4 Academy Awards. I think all of them with Jimmy Van Heusen. And here is a song from The Joker is Wild, one of the many songs they wrote for Sinatra that was a huge Hollywood hit, and the disastrous result of their Broadway work in Skyscraper to follow.
When somebody loves you, it's no good unless he loves you. All the way, happy to be near you when you need someone to cheer you. All the way, taller than the tallest trees, that's how it's got to feel. Deeper than the deep blue sea is, that's how deep it goes, if it's real. When somebody needs you, it's no good unless he needs you. All the way, through the good or lean years, and for all the in-between years, come what may. Who knows where the road will lead us? Only a fool would say. But if you let me love you, it's for sure I'm gonna love you all the way, all the way. So if you let me love you, it's for sure I'm gonna love you all the way, all the
I'm a great Mr. Fix-It. I fixed everything fine. I fixed Georgina's future in hopes that I'd fix mine. I had everything well in hand. Yes, I held the reins. And what have I got from my pains? The reins. I'll only miss her when I think of her, and I'll think of her all the time. Likely I'll spend my days hearing her turn a phrase. Raisin bread and mayonnaise right now would seem sublime. The truth is, I'll only miss her when some stranger laughs, 'cause it's still her laugh my heart hears. Maybe in time, I guess, the longing will grow the slightest bit less, and there will be moments, yes, when it disappears. I'll bet I forget her completely in about 100 years. Maybe in time, I guess, the longing will grow the slightest bit less, and there will be moments, yes, when it disappears. I'll bet I forget her completely in about 100 years.
That was Peter Marshall. Yes, the same. Paul in the center square. Peter Marshall from the Hollywood Squares singing I Only Miss Her When I Think of Her from the musical Skyscraper. Conn and Van Heusen, based on a strange play with Dream Girls called Dream Girl. The play was called Dream Girl, and it starred that musical comedy sensation, Julie Harris. Well, let us go to another show they did, which was completely not in their wheelhouse. It was a show about Victorian England, made from a very famous play from Victorian England with a lot of tankard bashing and on tables and stuff like that. Walking Happy. Here is the title tune, Louise Troy and Norman Wisdom.
You can tell about the manner of a man by the shape of his head. It has been said.
You can?
You can tell if his character is fine by a line in his hand. I understand.
In his hand?
But my own method of judging people I meet is by the way they use the when the world's undone you. There's the kind of walk you walk when you're walking proud. There's the kind of walk you walk when the neighbors shun you. There's the kind of walk you walk sets you above the crowd. Now step out of here with the walk of the Will Mossop to be. And on the way out, Willie, you can hang the sign.
Sign?
Our new shop sign.
William Mossop, master bootmaker? Well, by gum, there's the kind of walk you walk when you feel like crowing. There's the kind of walk you walk when you're on your way. There's the kind of walk you walk when your pride is showing, and the kind of walk you walk when today's your day. There's the kind of walk you walk when the world's all rainbows and your heart's hopping like a poppin' jay. Good fortune's found you, chappie, and your life's a happy Valentine. When you're walking happy, don't the blooming world seem fine?
There's the kind of walk you walk when you're feeling ample. There's the kind of walk you walk when you're feeling low. There's the kind of walk you walk sets a fine example, like the walk you take to church for that Sunday glow. There's the kind of walk you walk when you're kind of lazy, and every daisy stops to contemplate your hazy sleep. Good fortune's found you, chappie, and your heart's a happy Valentine. When you're walking happy, when you're walking happy, when you're walking happy.
Don't the blooming world seem fine?
But when we get into the 1960s, there are fewer teams that are simply based in Hollywood, writing Hollywood theme songs. One of the most popular songwriting teams of the 1960s was Burt Bacharach and Hal David. And here, with the actual lyrics, is the theme song they wrote to Casino Royale in 1967.
7 James Bonds at Casino Royale. They came to save the world and win the gal at Casino Royale. 6 of them went to a heavenly spot. The 7th one is going to a place where it's terribly hot.
The Formula is Wilbur 007. He's got a redhead in his arm. He's a lover when you are in trouble. Have no fear, look who's here. James Bond. They've got us on the run with gun and knife. We're fighting for our life. Have no fear, Bond is here. He's gonna save the world at Casino Royale. 1 and 9 were fighting for our life. Have no fear upon this here. He's gonna save the world at Casino Royale. James Bond is here. So have
Promises, I'm all through with promises now. I don't know how I got the nerve to walk out. If I shout, remember, I feel free. Now I can look at myself and be proud. I'm laughing out loud. Oh, promises, this is where those promises end. I won't pretend that what was wrong can be right. Every night I'll sleep now, no more lies. Things that I promised myself fell apart, but I found my heart. Oh, promises, they're kind of promises, take all the joy from life. Promises, those kind of promises can just destroy your life. Oh, promises, my kind of promises can lead to joy and hope and love. Yes, love.
That was Jerry Orbach singing the title song to Promises, the 1968 Broadway musical that Bacharach and David wrote, which was very successful, but alas, was their only Broadway edition. And boy, I wish they could have done more because they were so talented. Let us turn to another talented pair of lyricists, Alan and Marilyn Bergman. We lost Marilyn Bergman a couple of weeks ago. Fantastic lyricist for film. She worked with a number of different composers, but here is some work that she did with Michel Legrand from the Thomas Crown Affair.
Round like a circle in a spiral, like a wheel within a wheel, never ending or beginning on a never spinning reel, like a snowball down a mountain or a carnival balloon, like a carousel that's turning, running rings around the moon, like a clock whose hands are sweeping past the minutes of its face, and the world is like an apple whirling silently in space, like the circles that you find in the windmills of your mind, like a tunnel that you follow to a tunnel of its own, down a hollow to a cavern where the sun has never shone, like a door that keeps revolving in a half-forgotten dream, or the ripples from a pebble someone tosses in a stream, like a clock whose hands are sweeping past the minutes of its face, and the world is like an apple whirling silently in space, like the circles that you find in the windmills of your mind. Keys that jingle in your pocket, words that jangle in your head. Why did summer go so quickly? Was it something that you said? Lovers walk along the shore and leave their footprints in the sand. Is the sound of distant drumming just the fingers of your hand? Pictures hanging in a hallway and the fragment of a song, half-remembered names and faces, but to whom do they belong? When you knew that it was over, you were suddenly aware that the autumn leaves were turning to the colour of her hair. A circle in a spiral, a wheel within a wheel, never ending or beginning on an ever-spinning reel, as the images unwind, like the circles that you find in the windmills of your mind.
That was Noel Harrison, son of you-know-who, Rex Harrison, singing The Windmills of Your Mind. Well, Alan and Marilyn Bergman teamed up with composer Billy Goldenberg to write one awfully good Broadway musical, in my opinion. So we'll sign off and we'll thank Marilyn Bergman for her tremendous work in this field with 50%, the 11 o'clock number from Ballroom, sung impeccably, unforgettably by Dorothy Loudon, proving that maybe your songwriting career wasn't meant for Broadway, but it doesn't mean you couldn't pull a triumph out of the magician's hat at some point.
I don't iron his shirts, I don't sew on his buttons, I don't know all the jokes he tells or the songs he hums, though I may hold him all through the night. He may not be here when the morning comes. I don't pick out his ties or expect his tomorrows, but I feel when he's in my arms, he's where he wants to be. We have no memories, bittersweet with time, and I doubt if he'll spend New Year's Eve with me. I don't share his name, I don't wear his ring, there's no piece of paper saying that he's mine, but he says he loves me, and I believe it's true. Doesn't that make someone belong to you? So I don't share his name, so I don't wear his ring, so there's no piece of paper saying that he's mine, so we don't have the memories. I have enough memories. I've washed enough mornings, I've cried enough evenings, I've had enough birthdays to know what I want. Life is anyone's guess. It's a constant surprise. You don't plan to fall in love, but when you fall, you fall. I'd rather have 50% of him or any percent of him than all of anybody else at
all. Well, where is the time all gone to? This is Larry Maslon here at Broadway to Main Street. Let's catch up next Sunday at 3.